everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show. And it's Friday, May 30th already, and tomorrow, or day after tomorrow and Sunday is June 1st. So, hey Nancy, how's the weather back in Wisconsin? I understand Kansas got nailed by some tornadoes last night and the middle of the night, which I feel sorry for them because when you have nighttime tornadoes, you can't see where it's coming from. And so you have to do your utmost to prepare yourself and just hope for the best. And hope no one was killed or anything, or any animals that were injured. Anyway, I'm going to be talking various random subjects. I have no set production notes or anything. Today, I guess Trump kicked Elon Musk out of the White House for good. And, okay, good. Anyway, kicked Elon Musk out of the White House. And Musk, I guess, has been really thinking a lot of things through and discovered that Trump was basically lying to him and destroying. You think Elon would know what kind of person Trump is and what he does? I mean, there's a track record, right? Doge is not going to last long. Doge is going to probably be shut down. I hope so. They've done enough, some damage. And several of the, I don't know which court, district court, or on the federal level, which court that handles this, both Harvard and, between Harvard and Trump, they have permanently, I don't know if it's permanently or temporarily, but permanently put an injunction against Trump, now allowing him to dictate to Harvard on the foreign students that do come in to learn. And the courts did not see anything problem with it because some of their own have came here as foreign students and stayed here and worked here and learned here. Okay, we need all the brain power we can get around the world. We really can. And Trump doesn't seem to understand this. I know people say, well, he doesn't care. Well, he doesn't care because he's being stupid. He's been told things, and he doesn't bother to learn. He doesn't bother to read. Like, he doesn't bother to read the so-called executive orders, which don't mean jack crap, because they're not signed into law. He thinks they're signed into law, but they're not, okay? In order for something to be signed into law, it has to be looked at by the House and the Senate. And they look over the bill, they compromise, and then they send the bill to be signed by the president. Trump is not my president. Be signed by a president. And that's how it becomes law, okay? It has to go through a process, and Trump doesn't seem to understand that. Well, this so-called big beautiful bill is, Elon calls it a big bad bill because it messes up a lot of corporations and everything else, and Trump doesn't seem to understand it. Well, another thing too regarding Elon Musk, I was listening to Adam Mockler earlier, and he said that there have been reports of Elon Musk, now he had a black eye while he was there at the White House, in the Oval Office. I would imagine Trump may have smacked him one. If Elon Musk was smart, he would have charged Trump for assault. Um, but I understand that Elon Musk has a drug addiction to ketamine and some of the other strong drugs like ecstasy and everything else. It's going to kill him if he's not careful. He needs to get off of those and get away from those, and it's going to kill him. Okay, he may not even make it to Mars the way he's going. Um, and then of course he takes all these drugs with him when he goes on these trips. You know what that is? That's international. That's international drug trafficking, and that's a big no-no. His little boy who punched him. Uh, Now where did that punch occur? Did it punch at the White House, or it occurred in the Oval Office with Trump? I would suspect even more Trump punching him than anything. Because Trump, at times when he gets mad, he'll haul off and punch something. Okay. Um, could be his little boy just knock some sense into him and say, look, you need to get off this drug thing and get away from Trump. Even Elon Musk's son does not like Trump. He never has. Kids know. They can tell a difference between a good person and a bad person. They really can. So we need to listen and watch kids and what they pick up on. And we ourselves need to read people better more than anything. Um, Other than that, there's been some launches. SpaceX in their space exploration department, Starship 9 did not do very well. I mean, it was able to do some things, but not do perfectly. It was able to get into orbit when the Starship itself was coming back to orbit. They lost trajectory with it. And apparently there was a leak inside the ship, and it knocked out the telemetry, which therefore it can't talk to the ground control and everything. Well, the ship went into a free fall, and eventually it was able to splash down near the outside the Indian Ocean. Um, the booster did not do well. They lost trajectory on it because there was a fuel leak in it. And of course, it went back down into the Gulf of Mexico. Because they weren't going to. They weren't going to do any tower catches with it, um, or land landings, or drone ship landings with it. Good thing they did though. Didn't do it because it would have been bad. We either destroy the drone ship, or did damage on their landing pad. Sorry. Trying to get my voice to work. So, good thing there. But they were able to get some telemetry, get some payback what happened. Starship 9 was upgraded. Okay, so pretty much everything there is new on board the ship. They didn't know how it was going to react or perform. And so, like with any flight testing, when you put something new on there, you expect these things. You really do. Look how space. Look how airplane flight went. Flight tests went in airplanes and aircraft. Same thing. Except only thing is the rocket goes up into space. Planes fly around down here. So anything new that goes in there, they test it out and say, okay, is this going to work? Is this viable? Is this going to be helpful? That type of thing. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So anything in flight testing, whether it's a rocket or an airplane, you have to expect some things to happen. Now, if it goes perfectly and there's no glitches or anything, that's great. That's super. Okay. Um, but it's a long process. Now, I understand that they were wanting to schedule first flight to Mars next year, 2026. Uh, well, we'll see how that goes, but I think they're going to hold off a little bit longer because of problems with Starship and their fuel systems and telemetry systems. Uh, well, actually, back to Elon Musk, and he said he blamed the kid. Really, the blame should fall on the parent himself. The guy's on drugs most of the time, and that's endangering the kid. So the blame falls on Elon Musk. I'll bet you 2 to 1 he ran into a wall. Ran into a door jam in the middle of the night or something, and got hurt that way. And was too embarrassed to speak the truth about it. Okay? Um, so, uh, some ways Elon Musk is similar to Trump, but he is not. He's not really stupid like Trump, but he sometimes doesn't bother to do any research of how things really work. Except the only thing that he knows, which is space flight, his boring company, Twitter. I think it's a learning curve on Twitter because social media platforms are a different animal. And then you have uh, his Tesla. Now, I understand that the boards of all those respective companies are thinking about giving Elon Musk the boot because he's caused their yeah, yeah. And the other thing I think he could have ran into too, Nancy, he could have ran into Trump's fist. Um, which wouldn't surprise me. But like I said, the boards were thinking of giving Elon Musk the boot because of all the sales and the stocks and everything. And now, if I understand, this is through Associated Press. You know those guys? They did a little checking at stock market. Stock market is now calling Trump Taco Trump. And they're really giving him a bad time about this because they're tired of Trump making the stock market going yo-yo. They really are. Um, they think that Trump doesn't know how anything works there either, at all. And they're, I think it's kind of funny the stock market's going against Trump now. They really are. and he also they should go after him for a lot of illegal things that he did. You know, like insider trading and everything else. They should have him arrested for that, and a good majority of Congress arrested for that. Um, in a regular working world, most companies will not allow their employees own stocks unless the company decides to issue stock to their employees to, to strengthen things up, which Boeing did. Boeing did that in the 1990s. They issued stock to all the Boeing employees, and they could keep them, sell them, buy something else, that type of thing in the stock market. Well, I held on to mine for some time until mid 1990s, I think it was, that I decided to go ahead and sell them because I was just tired of fighting with it. And so I sold the stocks. Okay. Um, and Boeing left that up to us. Boeing wanted to buy back the stocks, and I said no. I'm going to sell it outright. Okay. Because at that time I didn't really trust the company. What was it doing? Um, Boeing has a long way to go to get back to where it was. They need to start doing everything in-house when building aircraft. Okay. They need to beef up their inspections inside the airplanes that they're putting together. Sorry about the noise. They're trying to get ahead on the lawn and everything here. Uh, but they're trying to get themselves back together. And this is what should have been done. They should have not doing outsourcing is what they shouldn't have done. Because what happens when you outsource, like a certain critical part, like let's say it's a rudder or the aileron that help guide and run the plane, turn the plane, that type of thing, land the plane. And the aileron just doesn't work right, or the specifications on it is wrong. Well, that's where the inspection needs to come in. Now it has to be an inspection at the site where it's built and made, but also need to be inspected when it's installed on the plane when it's being put together. But somehow they let that fall, they let that slip. So, Boeing, if you want to get back into building really super good airplanes, build everything yourself and do it all in-house. Inspections, everything. And make safety your number one priority when it comes to hiding. You want to come up here? Come on. Come on. Meow. I'm all out. I've ordered more. Yes. I'm talking to Loki. He's down over here. Yeah. So if you're hungry, go eat your kibbles. Yeah. Go have your kibbles. Probably be better when it's warm weather anyway. Okay? Yeah. So anyway, I think that's it. um, here's Loki. He says hi. He says hi. Right? You stay. Can you say hi to the guys? Huh? Loki, can you say hi to the guys? Loki, can you say hi? He's so funny. Okay, let me check my calendar here. Um, uh, let's see, 30th. Okay, I will see you on Monday, June 2nd. And yes, it's June already. Um, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, Nancy, he sounds much better than he did last time. He's well over his infection and everything, and he had combination abscess down here on his nose, underneath his nose, and everything else, and he was fighting a double whammy. I gotta clip his toenails. Um, yes, your toenails need clipping. Um, but I will have a good weekend. You do too. And I will post this. Uh, I will post this video on my YouTube channel. So feel free to share. So be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And the very stubborn mangas, tell them to get a life and start doing research and stop blaming other people. Because the only actions you cause is your own, and you have to take responsibility for those actions. That's what Trump has never learned. Okay? So, anyway, I will see you on Monday. Take care. Love to all. Okay? Bye bye. Hi. Loki says bye bye too.